Y'all, I just got back home from the gym. I am embarrassed to say that I gained 15 pounds last year. And I'm low key a little out of breath too. Let me fix this. The gym kicked my butt today, but that's not really the thing. I sat in the parking lot for a minute because I had to think about what I did to myself. And it made me think about what was the cost of just one more year. What was the cost of one more year? Because that's what I had told myself that I was giving myself to stay at my job that started bringing on extra stress, the headaches, those long, deep drives that I told y'all I'd take and go sit in the Starbucks parking lot just to decompress because the cost was much greater than that $5 chamomile mint tea. The cost of one more year. We always tell ourselves, oh, I'll give it 5 more months. I'll give it 6 more months. I'll give it 10 more months. But what's the real cost of that? Because let me tell you, the way that my trainer bust my butt today during that workout, we did something called the in body. And somebody may be able to explain it better than me, but it like does your body fat percentage, what is it, your BMI, your basal, just different things like that. I'm not a fitness guru. I just show up and do what I got to do. But it showed me in comparison to the one we did last year, how much of a difference in my weight. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember the moment. I remember the moment when I stopped going to the gym last year because I got tired and I was exhausted and I already had the mental gymnastics, Olympics thing going on up here with work. And I was just like, yo, I just need a break. And I feel like we always cut out the self-care. That's usually the first thing to go when we're going through stress, when work feels hard and heavy, when life starts to feel like chaotic. But that's usually the thing that we need to lean into the most and actually continue to nurture ourselves, because something has to kind of be an outlet for the thing that's like causing so much fog and chaos and stuff. So when we sat down at the smoothie counter to go over my numbers, I was just like, oh my God, I felt so disappointed in myself. I felt like, man, I think I may get emotional for a minute, because sometimes when you really think about the cost of these stressful, taxing jobs, sometimes it's just like, yo, this really wasn't worth it. Now I got to work double time and put in double work to be able to get that weight up off me. Because, I mean, for one, cancer survivor. I was in the thick of a stressful job when I got that diagnosis. And I don't want to go back to that ever. I don't ever want to go back to that. I don't ever want to let it get to that point where that's the reality, because that shouldn't be the reality. And one more year could cost you so much more than the amount of your paycheck. One more year could cost you so much additional stress that you can't see beyond clocking in for those 40 hours a week. I mean, that $5 Starbucks tea to sit there and decompress after I shut my laptop from work doesn't even equate or amount to all the ripple effects of emotional things that I did to soothe. I remember like it was yesterday. I remember when I was emotionally eating. I caught myself doing it not too long ago, like a week ago, just eating my emotions to like comfort myself and calm down. I kind of would do this thing where I would like close work, slam my laptop shut, sit down for a minute in the dark or whatever, just to like kind of process and decompress. And then I'd go for a walk around the neighborhood to catch like the sun setting, because I've worked all day, right? So now it's like you barely have anything left for yourself. And then I would either feel too exhausted to try to cook, which sucked because I spent all this money on groceries and then my groceries would go bad. So if I was too exhausted to cook, I would go grab like Culver's or some type of like healthy fast food, if you will. Don't judge me, judge somebody else. or, um, or I would either try to buy something that I could heat up midweek when I knew that I was feeling like, oh yeah, I'm not going to cook all 5 days. Like I'm not going to hit it all 5 days. And looking at the cost of that adding up for food and emotional eating, and then you're gaining weight, and then you already got stress from the job, and then you're gaining more weight, and then it's like, I don't know if this is a thing, but I feel like our brains can gain weight too. I don't know. Somebody Google that. Do our brains gain weight? Because, oh my gosh, when it already feels like so much head pressure at the top. Listen, so I had to literally kind of break down like what really is the cost of staying one more year, telling yourself you're going to give yourself one more year at that job. And I get it. You got financial goals. You trying to hit your emergency fund. You trying to buy that house. You trying to get out your parents' house. You trying to get that apartment. You got things that you want to do. And obviously the job brings in money. But what is really the cost of that? And I think we got to sit down and be serious with ourselves and like weigh that out and look at that. And when you can actually visually see it a little more beyond the budget, then I think it puts things into perspective. Okay, the physical cost. For me, I gained 15 more pounds that my body has held from stress, emotionally eating. And I don't want to put anything back on myself because battling cancer was already like, whoo, baby, I feel like I went to hell and back in those 3-some years to just be cancer free. So I don't want to make poor decisions that could jeopardize anything. Some people experience chest pains that turn out to be anxiety. Some of y'all go to urgent care, probably more than you would like to admit. Maybe you're like me and you ended up putting on a couple pounds because you just didn't have it in you. The motivation is low. The job is overwhelming. Your schedule's already full. So how are you going to fit in working out when you're taking care of the kids and you going to school and you're in this relationship? All this stuff, all these things factor in, right? Prescriptions to manage what the job created, being on different pills for anxiety. Maybe you are taking more aspirins because you have constant like headaches or migraines even. If you're more on the herbal side, right? The money that we're spending there just to try to offset like everything that's happening internally with your nervous system. Girl, run that check. Like the gym membership you paid for, but you were too exhausted to use because baby, y'all know Planet Fitness is good for taking them $10 and you got to go to Alaska and back to cancel that membership. They want your mama's social security card. They want your social security number. They need your driver's license. Like they need everything from you to cancel that membership. You pay for it and you're not even going. Healthy groceries rotting in your fridge because you're too tired to cook. So you done spent money on groceries and then you spent money on food because you brought the groceries, but you're too tired to cook the groceries. So now you just got to eat out of comfort. And then eating out of comfort results in what? More weight gain, especially if we get in something fast food and it's not even the best option for us. All the Starbucks runs to decompress outside the store in the parking lot, parked right under the light. I got like my same little, it's like every time I come, they know I'm coming because nobody is ever in my spot. That's sad. Therapy bills, life coach bills, alcohol and substances to numb out. I remember the first time, this was right before the cancer diagnosis. Man, that job was wearing me out. And I would come home, run my bath water, decompress, and I would drink about 2 glasses of wine per night. And I would literally do this Monday through Friday. until I hit a point where I'm like, girl, you got to snap out of it. Because why are you going to the alcohol? Why are you going to the wine to try to numb you and calm you down from the same repetitive cycle that's like working you up every single day, every single day, every single day? It's like the worst snowball effect ever, because it's like, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And when you look at the root cause of it, it's not helpful. You got to remove the root cause, and you got to be honest with yourself. Like, what about this role, this job, this company, my position, the people I work with, like, what about it is taking me out? We got to figure that out. Emotional, mental cost. The car screams on the way home. I don't know about you, but every blue moon, I got to roll that window down somewhere secluded and let it out. Let it out. And it got to be secluded so nobody gets concerned and calls the police. Okay. Cause I don't have time for that. It's already too much going on. And needing those 2 hours of silence before you can even just like talk to anybody. Like you get done or you get home and you just sit outside in your driveway in the car. Sometimes barely even listening to music. You just thinking like, what the heck happened? What was that? Like, you're recapping the day, but you don't even really want to recap the day because your brain is already at like capacity and you feel the mental pressure. But in the same token, you're just like, and then low key wondering, how did I even drive home? Like, who drove us? Who got us here? Because I don't think it was me. I've had those moments. Now, if you can relate to that, meet me in the comments. Venting to your friends about the same situation over and over again. Venting to your boyfriend, and now you probably got him drinking because he's trying to prepare for you coming home to vent to him about the girls or the ladies or Susan and them and what they were doing and how they were acting. Honey. And then spending your weekend preparing to get back to work instead of actually living and enjoying your weekend. Oh my God. How crazy is that? You already gave those people 5 days. You already gave them 40 hours out of your week, and your weekends, you're not even fully decompressed because it's like your body is in like protection mode and you're trying to protect yourself or brace yourself for what's to come on Monday. You're not relaxed. You're not at ease. You're not free. You're not flowing. You're not living. You're letting that job rule you outside. You working for free now at this point. You working after hours because you're letting that job take control of you when you need to be taking control of you. Your weekend should be for you. Your weekend should be for your family. They should be for joy, for hobbies, for play. When did we stop playing? When did we grow up to these like extra adults where we just took the fun out of our lives? Like your life is boring. And you're not 100% happy. And you're tired of going through the motions. And you know there's more to life than this. You know you were called to more than this. You know you deserve more than this. You gotta want it enough to make a change and transition and figure out what you need to do to make it happen. Because you can't keep giving the job extra time than what it deserves. Y'all gonna get me started. Okay, focus, Renee. Let's talk the identity cost. Lost time with your nieces or your nephews, with your siblings, sometimes maybe even with your kids because you're so exhausted. It's like, oh my God, I just dealt with all these people at this job, helping all these patients, and now I get home and I gotta mother my kids, and I don't even have energy to mother them. And I know you're trying your best. I'm not doubting that. Missing life experiences because you have nothing left. The version of you who could still laugh freely laughs a lot less. Dreams you keep postponing until after you leave this job. What if you don't have after? What if after never comes? What if today was it? Girl, when I tell you the moment I got that breast cancer diagnosis, y'all should have seen me in that car. First off, I cried like a 2-year-old crossing Peachtree Street in Atlanta. If you know, you know. Walking to the parking garage. And I got in the car and I was pissed. I was pissed. I said, Lord, What? I said, oh no, I can't, this can't be it. I can't be going out like this. It's something about that diagnosis where you just like automatically think you're dying until you actually meet with the doctor like 50 weeks later and then they tell you the next steps. I'm a little dramatic, I know, but when I felt that and when I heard that, I was like, oh no. Because in my mind, I thought I'm dying. And then if I'm dying, I don't want to die in here. With baby, let me tell you, when I tell you them tears dry up, and I started looking around it's like the fog cleared. I didn't know what the exit plan was or what the strategy was. I had no clue, but the fog cleared up. I was like, oh no, if this is the wake up call that I needed to have, Lord, you got my attention. I'm up. So what are we going to do? And let me tell you, my gosh, we've been trekking ever since, right? I've had some ups, some really good ups with unicorn jobs. I've had some downs due to some layoffs, and it's been like an ebb and flow, but I know good things are coming, and I know that this will be the last time, mark my words, this is the last time I work a job that's out of alignment. This is the last time I ignore my non-negotiables for a company. This is the last time I put money over myself because I'm not a woman that self-abandons anymore. This is the last time. I'm not doing it no more. Mark my words. I don't know where we got to write this down at, but like I'm telling you, like I'm done. I already told y'all I'm working on the exit strategy right now because no. So the compound effect is the fact that it's not just this year. It's what carrying this into next year cost. It's like, what does this mean to still live out your life like this for the next 12 months? And this is January. This is 2026. We just started. You gonna do 11 more months of this? Be for real. Be for real. And I hope you felt that. What would staying 5 more years cost you? And what are we teaching our kids that success looks like? I sometimes think about that with my nieces and nephews because I'm an aunt of 12, right? The youngest, she's 11. The oldest, he's 26. Everybody else is in between. Okay. And I love my kids down. Love them. I love being an aunt. You hear me? For the people that are not parents yet, we love auntie life. Okay. We love it over here. We love it. And I think about like, what am I showing them? I don't want to come home, exhausted. I don't want to keep saying, no, I can't join you because I got to work. I don't want to miss out on the lunch dates and the dinner dates when my brother hits me up like, hey, we're going here to do this and do this. And I'm so exhausted and I'm working and I'm taking calls and I can't up and leave. I don't want to do that. I don't want to miss moments like that. And I don't want to teach my nieces and nephews that that's what hard work looks like. That's what burnout looks like. That's what abandonment looks like. That's what survival mode looks like. I don't want to teach them that. I want to teach them that you can get in alignment and you can thrive. You can get in alignment and be so happy and full of joy. And it's your choice, the dollar amount that's attached to that. It comes with different levels, right? Every level has a pro and con. And I can speak from my 20 some years in just overall. Every level has a pro and con. So it definitely depends on what is in alignment for you. What are you willing to sacrifice and be okay with versus like, what are you not? But in the same token, like, what are we showing them is the example. What does hard work even mean anymore? Because it looks so different. My brother and I are literally 11 years apart. He's older than me. So his definition of hard work, I get it because back in the day, that is what people did. Physical, manual, hard labor. A lot of our families did that, working at the plants and working at different places like that. And now I feel like hard work looks a little different, but some of us don't want to work hard like that. We don't want to like, yeah, just, put in 60 hours in this job and now, I work 8 days a week and, I'm, 8 to 8 and, I'm grinding. A lot of us don't really want to grind. And there's nothing wrong with that. We don't want it like that. We want it like softer. We want it like flow. We want it like alignment. We want it to feel like compound interest because I did this one thing. I made this digital product and just sold it forever. I made a book and then just sold it forever. We're starting to like rewire how we see hard work because we saw our parents quite literally burn out and put in 35 years at the job, Life is different and we want different. So what are we showing the younger generation around us, our nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters, the kids? Like, what are we showing them that different looks like? And I'm not saying this is all for them. It has to be for us more than anything. But I'm saying it's a question that we need to ask and sit with that too, right? So, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Oh man, I've been on a roll with this, y'all. I didn't realize how passionate I was about getting people to, I'm not trying to tell the world quit their job, but it's just something about like, it comes from the place of wanting people to experience joy. I shared with y'all I'm in grad school to become a clinical mental health therapist, and we started classes this week. So I'm in year 2, and I'm really rooting and pushing for the people that have a dream, that have a vision. They see the business, they see the products they want to make, they see the art they want to make, like they see who they want to be, they see the book that they want to write, they see the recipes they want to put out, they see the blog that they want to launch this year, they're ready to start coaching again this year, they're ready to open the business this year. They see that, like I'm rooting for those people that are right now in the thick of their 9 to 5 and who they want to be. They're in the thick of their right now and who they want to be. They're in the thick of like trying to juggle all of it. And I get it because I'm there too. And I see it and I see you. And I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for us because we're going to do it. We're going to make it and we're going to remember this video and we're going to come right back here and talk about how we said we were going to do what we were going to do. Because when it's in God's will for you, there is nobody that can stop it. Nobody can take you away from what God has for you. Baby, it has your name on it. It is signed and sealed and it's waiting to be delivered to you. And you got to know that deep down in here. You got to know that. I'm telling you, letting me conquer cancer. Oh, come on. Let's go. Let's go, Lord. I want nothing but the best that you have for me, even in my most delulu moments. And guess what? I'm going to get it. It is mine. It is already destined. It is already written. It is already declared. I am just walking it out. And I have to learn what he needs me to learn in every season, at every step, even the uncomfortable ones, even the steps that don't make sense. Even the ones that I feel like, Lord, why am I still here? Like, get me out of this. Get me out of this job. Like, take me somewhere, Jesus, please. Even when I don't know what's ahead of me and I have no idea what's next because I'm in the valley and I can't see over the hill yet. But I know here that it is good. And I know here that it is good. So when all else feels crazy and chaotic and it feels unattainable, hold on to your vision. Hold on to your vision so tight and do not let it go. Don't let it go. You got to keep holding on. You got to believe what you can't see. That day that I got diagnosed with stage 2 triple negative breast cancer, I said, Lord, I came online. I came online and I declared the first day of chemo, November 12th, 2021, I read my scripture and I said, I'm not going to be afraid. I put my trust in the Lord. So If I trust in you, why should I be afraid? I stood on that. I had no idea what was going to happen. I'm like, you either go keep me here or call me home. It's not an in between, you know? So I was like, all right, Lord, you got it. And guess what? You're here today listening to this video almost 4 years later, almost 5 years later. That's how good he is. That's how good he is. He's so good. Oh my gosh. All right, y'all. Woo. Okay. Anyways, if you haven't already, join the family, subscribe. We would love to have you here for more chit chats and conversations like this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If anything kind of resonated with you or just where you're at on your journey, or maybe you one of them ones that took the leap already and we trying to get like you. So meet me in the comments, and until the next video, y'all, peace out.